I've got the DJI Mic Mini mounted to me now, and hopefully this is a thumbs up and this is going to make the Osmo 360 work perfectly with the Bluetooth audio. Well, DJI, this is not the video that I was hoping or expecting to have to make. You would have seen last week's video that I paired this DJI Osmo 360. I'm going to move this leaf because it's in the way. You would have seen in last week's video, I made a video about the DJI Osmo 360 and I showed you one of the potential game-breaking, deal-breaking flaws that this camera has right now. And it's not just me, it's been documented by numerous other content creators on YouTube. And that is, there is some weird audio drift where when you make the video, the audio does not sync with the video, and it's like watching one of those foreign movies when the voiceover is dubbed and the lips don't move at the same time in the voice, and it's super disconcerting, and you would have seen that in the previous video. And I'm here to see if there's been any change. I've contacted DJI, they said that they would look into it. I haven't heard back. Since then, there's been a firmware update for the Osmo 360 and also a firmware update for the DJI Studio Suite. The thing is, what I found was super weird is when I made that last video, when I used two different methods. I used the built-in microphone and then I used the DJI Mic 2. And when I was editing it within the DJI Studio Suite, everything was fine and dandy. There was no issues, there was no audio lag, there was no audio drift or anything of the sort. But when I exported it into a MP4 format so that I could edit it on my DaVinci Resolve, when I looked into it, disaster. Now, there was no issues when I was using the internal built-in mic and the voice synced perfectly well with my lips, so that was fine. But any part of the video which I used the DJI Mic 2, massive problems, completely out of sync, and I'm not sure and I'm not 100% confident that that has been resolved because I've updated the firmware, like I said, with the camera as well as the suite, and I exported the same video and it's turned out exactly the same. Now, I've been shooting super noisy there. Now I've been shooting these videos in 8K25, so this is 8K25. I'm using the internal mic, and now I'm going to switch over once again to the DJI Mic 2, and this is still 8K25. Let's see if the camera now recognizes this as the microphone, and let's see if the audio is synced appropriately. Now the audio is now coming through the DJI Mic 2, and I'm going to see in post once again whether the audio syncs properly, and I'm not going to know right now because even when I edit it in the suite, it sounds okay. So this is it on the DJI Mic 2. And here I am back using the built-in mic because I want to be sure that this audio is usable for this video, so I don't want to just film the whole of it with the DJI Mic 2. But what I'm going to do now is I'm going to change the setting to 8K30 and see if it makes any difference. Whether it's a frame rate thing, I don't know, but here we go. Let's cross our fingers. Give me a sec. So this part of the video I call shooting in 8K30 on the panoramic view. Still using the built-in microphone. Hopefully there is no issues, there is no lag, and shortly I'm going to turn on the DJI Mic 2 and see if there's any difference. I don't feel confident it's going to be any different, but here it is using the DJI Mic 2. I don't know whether it's a duration of clip thing because some people have been saying that the lag gets more noticeable as the clip gets longer, and this is so far going to be a very short segment, so I'm going to flip it back over to the other mic. A lot of content creators have been saying that the longer the clip, the more out of sync the audio becomes, so I'm going to let this run a little bit just so that the clip is a little bit longer. I'm now back shooting with the built-in internal microphone, and hopefully, and I'm expecting no issues with this except for the train noise in the background, which is something, this is the reason why we use external mics, because if we can use an external mic, it gets rid of all that ambient noise because it only focuses on the sound around here. But now I'm going to switch back to the DJI Mic 2. So here we go. So I'm now back using the DJI Mic 2. It's now shooting at 8K30 with all the latest firmware. Good or bad? I'm not going to be able to tell until I go and edit this video in post, and not until I export it. So one of these things has been it's so super frustrating that I'm even having to make this video. And in that way, DJI, you kind of suck, because I had so many high hopes for this camera. Yeah, so I've had so many high hopes for this camera, and I just don't know. Now we've got all this frame rate issue. I'm going to set, hang on, I'm just confusing myself now, because I now have shot a segment of this video using 8K25 and now I'm shooting at 8K30. My preference is to shoot at 8K25 because it gives you more of a cinematic look. So what I'm going to do is I'm gonna try and remember to edit this as 2 separate files so it doesn't mess with the syncing the audio, because apparently if you have different clips at different frame rates, that could be an issue. So now I'm fully back using the built-in internal microphone shooting 8K25. So if I can remember for the editing part, I'm gonna take that 8K30 bit and make it into a separate file, and hopefully that doesn't affect the syncing and stuff. But basically, here's the dilemma. One of the biggest things that we need external microphones for is when there's a lot of ambient noise or when we're far away from the camera and we want to be able to still isolate our voice out of all the other ambient noises going around. And this was meant to be the golden goose. This was meant to be the thing that took us to the promised land, but right now it's not. I'm not getting a good reply from DJI right now. They say they're working on it, but I don't even understand what they're working on, because it should just work. Like, you have currently got this camera versus the Insta360 X5, and because the Insta360 X5 doesn't have this problem, right now I can't recommend this camera. But here's the kicker. Because I've had some suggestions on my YouTube channel feedback and I've seen in other videos, some other creators have suggested I try this, and I've now gone and spent more money. So DJI, it's your fault that I've had to spend all this extra money, and this had better work, because I just don't like spending money on stuff that I don't need to spend money on. But having said that, this is meant to be a good microphone. This is the DJI Mic Mini. Yes, I've had to spend more money on DJI products. I'm not sure I wanted to do that, but it's only about $55 or something like that. It's a mini microphone, Bluetooth microphone transmitter, which not only is compatible with DJI products, but I've been reliably told that it's compatible with almost any other camera. It's compatible with your iPhone, it's compatible with the Insta360 stuff. So I'm not going to lose anything by getting this, even if the DJI Osmo 360 sucks right now. But here's a little unboxing, because I know we love unboxings. Here we go. There is a box, mini transmitter instructions, and this. So it's a cute little pouch. It's actually really cute. I like pouches. I like stuff that holds gadgets and protects them from damage. And anything that comes with a little pouch, it's a thumbs up from me. It's got a nice little tag on here, and it's got a little dangly bit. And inside this DJI pouch, we have one of those cattail things. Cool. We have a USB-A to USB-C charging cable. We have what looks like a charging dock. And last but certainly not least, we have the DJI, whoops, it's a slippery little sucker, the DJI Mic Mini. Now this is so much smaller than the DJI Mic 2, and I'm almost any minute now I'm going to drop it. So here's the difference. This is the DJI Mic 2 and this is the DJI Mic Mini. You can see the difference in size. Now, one thing that I immediately noticed with this is there is no USB-C port like there is on the DJI Mic 2, and hence we've got this charging cradle. This cradle obviously makes it so that you stick your DJI mic in there, you plug it into the USB-C, and that's how you charge it, which is nifty, which is fine. And it comes with this little magnet, which is pretty strong, and it's designed to put under shirts and stuff so you can use it to stick your microphone to, and it's actually really cute. It's super cute, look at that. Now I'm super hoping that this has power. It's come straight out of the box, and I'm just going to turn it on. It may actually give me some instructions how to link it, but it shouldn't be too difficult if it's exactly the same as the DJI Mic 2. And I'm just going to press this. Hopefully there's enough power for this video. It's flashing green, and I guess I just keep pressing the anchor thing until it turns to a different color. It's now flashing green. I think it needs to turn blue. If it's the same as the DJI Mic 2, it needs to turn blue. So here we go, guys. I am now connected to the DJI Mic Mini, and I have no clue whether there's any sync problems with this audio, because I can't tell, and I won't be able to tell until I go through the whole thing and I do the DJI suite and actually export it out as an MP4, because it was never an issue until it's exported out. So I am hoping, fingers crossed, everything crossed, that my lips are synced to the audio, because if it's not, I'm going to start to cry. I'm actually going to cry. This is the last possible thing that I can do at this current time without DJI offering a better solution, because so far they have not offered a solution. I've seen content creators who have reported this and they've not had a satisfactory reply. They say they're working on it, but how long are we going to work on it? And because I don't trust this microphone, sadly, right at this minute, I'm going to go off the DJI Mic Mini and go back to the built-in mic just so that I can conclude this video, just so that you don't have to spend the rest of the time. Actually, before I do that, I'm actually going to do something different. I'm actually going to continue talking on this DJI Mic Mini, and assuming that the worst case scenario that the audio is out of sync, I'm going to try to use my software, my DaVinci Resolve, to resync it and see how much of a pain in the ass it is and whether it's actually effective. There's only one way to find out, and the way to find out is to actually try it. I will go back to the mic built-in one to finish this video just in case I can't get this to work. Hopefully, even if it's out of sync, I could take yet another extra step on top of having to edit 360 video and convert it to flat video. I can do some audio syncing in the post-process situation. It's not something I want to do because it's just going to take more time, but I'm just going to see if that's something that can be done and whether it's going to work reasonably. Again, I'm just going to babble on for a couple of minutes just so that it's given the clip enough length so that if there's any discrepancies, it's going to become more obvious apparently. So I'm just going to keep talking. This microphone is super small. It's probably super easy to lose as well, but it's only $59. With the way it's set up, you don't need the receiver, you only need the transmitter, so that's perfect. There's a new microphone out, that's the DJI Mic 3, which is about this size, ironically. It's not like the DJI Mic 2 size, but it's super expensive. I don't want to spend any more money on microphones that I don't have to, because basically I'm a vlogger and I just want to be able to get good audio when there's noise around me and when I'm further away from the camera like I am now, and hopefully it stays the same. That's all I want. And this would deliver it as long as there's no issues with the audio sync. So I'm going to go off this now for the rest of this video. So here we are, I'm done. I'm back on the built-in microphone and I'm just going to see what it sounds like in post. This has been one of the frustrating aspects of this DJI Osmo 360 because I'm really trying very, very hard to love this camera. I'm trying really hard to ignore the ambulance that's going through the background, but I'm trying really hard to really love this camera because the image quality is awesome. And I love the form factor, and I love the fact that I have all these interchangeable batteries and I've got the portable charger as well. I love everything about this. As I said in my previous video, I don't really care too much about the non-user replaceable 360 lenses because I'm trying to look after the thing and I don't do a lot of extreme sport anyway, and I'm going to treat this like any other camera without a replaceable lens, so I'm okay with that part. Yes, it would be nice to have user replaceable lenses, but I'm not going to go into that again. But this audio thing is going to be a game maker or a deal breaker, and unless it's fixed, unless we can be 100% sure that we're not going to run into this issue when we're shooting, and I'm not even sure that at the conclusion of this video I can actually trust this mic situation, even if it turns out the audio syncs okay, it's going to take me a few runs to actually get trust back. You know how you just have this situation where it works sometimes, it doesn't work sometimes, and you're not sure? It does take time to build up that trust again, and I don't have time. I'm busy. I'm just trying to vlog. I'm trying to do stuff in between chores at home, hanging out with family and work, and I don't want to have to mess around with tech that doesn't work. The worst case scenario, if this doesn't work, this camera is going to be put aside and I'm going back to the Insta360 X5 until they change it. I like this camera in the fact that this form factor, it's got 10-bit, and also I just like the fact that I think the image quality is a little bit better, especially in dark, low light situations compared to the X5. But if the audio sucks, it's done. And I'm not going to be able to use this camera to what I wanted to do. And yes, if I'm just doing outdoor scenery and there's no sound required, then this is perfectly fine. But as a vlogger, I'm a vlogger and I need to be able to talk to the camera and I need good audio. I often make videos where I'm like at the beach or in the city and stuff like that, and I need to be able to talk and you need to be able to hear me, because the first thing that turns people off watching a video usually is really crappy audio, and I can't have it. So fingers crossed, crossing everything. I'm hoping this works. It's only $59, only $59, but this will work on the X5. So DJI, if you don't get your act together, if this doesn't work, I'm just going to use this on the X5, and it's going to be very hard for you to get me to invest in any more of your products, even though they look super awesome and they're super innovative, because this is a massive bug that you need to fix ASAP if you haven't done so already. So that's it. I'm going to put this microphone back in this little cute pouch, back with its charging cable and its cradle and its little cat ear thing, and I'm going to go and edit this video, and I'm going to hope with every bone in my body that this microphone and this audio syncing issue is resolved, is no longer an issue, because I will be super bummed if it is. And the next video you see me make will not be using the Osmo 360, and it's going to sit on the shelf and it's going to gather dust until DJI fixes it. Anyway, thank you for watching. Leave me a comment below if you have had any progress on, if you've contacted DJI, or if you've had no issues with this at all. And I would be super amazed if no one else has had any issues with this because of all the stuff I've seen. But anyway, you guys have a good weekend, and I'll see you next week in another video, hopefully with the same camera. Alright. Welcome to the bonus section. I've got the DJI Mic Mini mounted to me now. Hopefully this is a thumbs up, and this is going to make the Osmo 360 work perfectly with the Bluetooth audio. Hopefully there's no audio lag, but I'm just going to go about my normal business. I edited the video that I shot yesterday, and it was a debacle when I had the DJI Mic 2. Complete audio lag, completely unusable footage from that point of view. I made the mistake that I turned on and off the DJI Mic 2 without stopping and restarting the recording, so the built-in mic sync was all off as well. But when I looked at the DJI Mic Mini, it seemed to be okay, so I'm going with that in this video. But right now, I'm just going to try and attempt to replace the cord of this Ryobi whippersnipper, and hopefully it's straightforward. I'm not sure how to do it, never done it before. This is the first time my whippersnippers lasted long enough that I actually have to replace the cord, because normally the thing dies before I have a chance. So this is what was left of the last cord. I bought some of this cable from the hardware store, and it's not the Ryobi brand, but I don't think it makes any difference. And I'm just gonna cut off this cable tie, and they say you should have about 3 meters of this cord. So one cable tie gone. Hopefully my audio is syncing okay right now, and it's matching my mouth movement. Like I said, I'm gonna cry if this doesn't work. Apparently it says about 3 meters of cable, so I'll just use a bit. And it's just meant to be even on the two sides. Call that maybe 1 meter. I've already made a knot in this cable, so that's not a good start. And I'm just going to start with maybe that much cable. Apparently this is meant to be very easy to do, and it's not meant to be something that requires like a PhD. Something about putting this on here and putting that on here somehow, just getting it back together and having the lines line up so that it's lined up like that. And apparently just put it through one hole and then comes out the other hole. So let's see how that goes. Yep, I had it on the wrong way. So let me start again. So we're gonna put this through this hole here on the side, and then have it come out the other hole on this side, and we're just going to even it out so that the lengths on the two sides are equal. Don't judge me. I don't know how to do this. But hey, I'm trying. Better than not doing it. The thing about doing this stuff is you do it once, and then the second time it gets easier, as long as you remember how to do it. And this kind of locks in like that. And all I'm doing now is lining up the lines with this bit here, and I've got to thread them through the hole. So let's get one of them, thread it through one hole. Why does the line have to be so twirly? There you go, one through one hole, and get the other line and put it through the second hole. And put that one through that one. So now they're both in. We have to line it up with the line. So we're going to line it up like so and get this thing in there like that. And just make sure now that we equalize the two sides. And then it should be just a matter of winding it on. So you do that and it's turning and it's meant to wind the line in, which I feel like it's doing. And you have a bit of that sticking out, and I think we're good to go. So you just got to attach it back to this head. Just a lot of springs, there you go. Just clicked in on both sides. We should be good to go. So we're on to the second part of our task today, and that is to fix the trampoline. The trampoline it's quite old and it's starting to fall apart, but one of these rings have come off and I'm going to try and fix it. It sounded like it was a bit of a chore getting the old one out, which is all rusted, and getting this new one in, but we'll give it a go. We always give things a go. This whole experience with the microphones on the DJI Osmo 360 has made me lose my confidence in the ability to vlog with this camera. This is super hard. Now I have to get that a little bit separate so that we can get that in, and then we can fix it up when we get it in there. But it's trying to wedge this thing through to get it on to the little fabric thing on the trampoline. And there you go. So I've opened it up like that. I'm going to try and thread this all the way through. We've had this trampoline for ages, and I'm not sure that this thing literally is actually that long for this world. But we're going to try and maintain it as much as we can and trying to get as much use out of it as we can, because one of our kids, she loves this thing. I'll see if I can thread this anchor thing all the way through. There it is. I've seen the edge. I've seen the light. So I've got this ring in now. I've just got to try and secure it. We're trying to get this so that the trampoline is safe. Just really hoping that this thing lasts for a bit longer, because I also bought some spare springs which will replace the ones that are rotten and broken. Nearly got it. I've got them joining together. Done. And now I just have to put the springs on. A lot of the springs have rusted, so we have new springs. And it comes with a tool to get the springs on to the trampoline. So I got all this stuff from Amazon. Even with Amazon, it's not cheap. And you can't get overnight delivery on this thing. A bag of springs. And it comes with 2 of these thingy-me-bobs to come and put them on. So let's go. So I'm coming around here and try and figure out how this can go on, because you got this net thing situation. And I might have to crawl underneath the trampoline and see how it attaches. Got 3 broken springs. So it took me so long that it's dark. I like to say it was 3 days later, but it's still the same day. It was a massive effort trying to get the springs on. Sweating like a pig now, but it's done. Hopefully it lasts. This trampoline has been a savior for our daughter for many years, and I'm not sure that there's much life left in it. I don't want to keep pouring extra money into this, because all this money I'm putting in the springs costs like nearly $100, but I've got like 10 spares or something like that. But it's starting to get so expensive. It's almost one of those things where you're probably better off just getting a new trampoline, but then you have to dispose of this old one, and it's all just too much effort at the moment. But anyhow, hopefully the DJI Mic Mini is doing a good job and the audio syncs good, because that's the whole point of this bonus section of this video. I have to spend a lot more time, I think, over the next weeks getting my confidence back, assuming that this video is turning out okay. It's going to take me some time to get my confidence back in using this camera and being confident that the sound is going to be okay. If I was to go to Disneyland tomorrow, which sadly I'm not, but if I was to go there tomorrow, I highly, highly, highly doubt that I would be using this camera, because I can't trust that the audio is going to be good. Although, having said that, there's only limited situations where I would use an external microphone anyway, and most of it's going to involve vlogging. And if I'm just with family and stuff, I tend not to do this kind of video. So I don't know. But anyway, I'm confused. I'm not sure that anyone knows what's going on with this DJI Osmo 360 right now. My advice still stands right at this minute, because there are still issues. If you can wait, I would wait. If you're desperate and you really need a 360 camera right now, if you want to go out right now tonight to buy a camera, and you have any consideration that you're going to attach an external microphone to the camera and do vlogs like this, I would consider that the Insta360 X5 might be the safer bet right now. This camera is still a really good camera, and it's a shame that it's almost like DJI released this without having tested everything. And perhaps it's just the Mic 2 that this camera is not compatible with, and fingers crossed that this is the case. And if it is, and if the Mic Mini works well, then I think that that's one problem solved and I can go back to using this as my regular camera. But if you're desperate and you really need a functional 360 camera with minimal flaws and minimal bugs, this is not the camera I would get right this minute. Hopefully this is all gets ironed out, and hopefully DJI makes a Mic 2. If that's indeed the only reason why this is stuffing up, if they can make the DJI Mic 2 compatible through a firmware update or something like that, then this brings this camera right back to the forefront of the best 360 cameras. But anyway, the jury's still out. Thank you for watching. I hope that I've helped you make a decision as to whether this is the right camera for you right now. I had high hopes. I still have hopes, but the hopes have dwindled a little bit. Anyway, leave a comment if you have any experiences with the mic situation, and I'll see you next week in another video. Bye.